We've been working with charts for a while now. You learned how to do them in 169. And in this video, we're going to look at another new chart element called a trend line. And trend lines are used to predict a general tendency or trend in business. So it might predict a trend in sales or a trend in employment or something like that. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and create a chart, and the data that we're going to be using is the unit data for the techno frame in C8 through F8. And once you've selected that data on your keyboard, you're going to press F11, which is a shortcut key to create a chart. And the default is a column chart. I'm going to go ahead and apply chart style 25, and then I'm going to add a chart title above the chart, and the chart title is Projected Sales of Techno Frame. And you'll notice that I did not select the text in the chart title text box, because if you haven't clicked away from the chart title after you insert it, you can just type directly into the formula bar and then press enter, and it works just like typing something into a cell. So then I'm going to, on the Chart Tools Layout tab, I'm going to click on the Trendline button. And we're going to use a linear trend line. You can see that there are other types of trend lines, but we're going to use the linear. Here's our trend line. I am then going to come over here to the Chart Elements arrow so that I can select the trend line. I could also simply click on the trend line to select it. Notice now that you have the selection handles. Then I'm going to click Format Selection, and we're going to make some changes to the trend line. So down here in the forecast group, I'm going to tell Excel how many periods I want to forecast for with my trend line. And so what I'm looking at is the next 4 quarters. So I'm going to type in 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and make some changes to the trend line style. So I'm going to go to the Style link here, the Style tab, and I'm going to change the weight of the trend line to 3 points. And then I'm going to change the dashed, or I'm going to change it to a dash type, and I'm going to choose the dash line here. And you can see that a screen tip is showing up. I'm also going to add an arrow setting, and I'm going to add an end arrow, and I'm going to add the arrow type here, and you can see the changes taking place in the background. I'm then going to go to the line color and change the line color to the blue accent 1, and I am finished, or no, I'm not quite finished. I'm going to add a name for my trend line, so that will show up in the legend, because you can see in the background here that there is no label for the trend line symbol in the legend. So I'm going to go ahead in the Trendline name, click Custom, and then I'm going to give my Trendline a name, and I'm going to call it Next 4 Quarters. And now I am done with my trend line. So I'm going to click Close, and you can see that all of the changes have been applied. Now you can also see over here in the legend that there is no label for the columns. So we don't know what those columns represent at this point other than Series 1. So I'm going to make a couple of changes here. The first thing I'm going to do is tell Excel to overlay the legend at right so that I have more room for the plot area. And then I'm going to go back to the Chart Tools Design tab, to the Select Data button in the Data group, and you'll notice that it's showing me my data source here. I'm going to click on Series 1 and click Edit. And you'll see right here I can type in a series name. So I'm going to go ahead and call it This Year. And click OK and OK. And that is how you add a chart line element to an existing chart.